The laughter stopped abruptly. Jennifer Lawrence's signature giggle died as she sat frozen in the Tonight Show guest chair, her trembling hands gripping the soft velvet armrests with white knuckles. Jimmy Fallon watched with growing concern as America's beloved sweetheart transformed from radiant comedy queen to someone fighting an invisible, terrifying battle beneath the bright studio lights. It had started as the perfect late-night television segment. Jennifer Lawrence bounced onto the Tonight Show stage with that natural, endearingly clumsy charm that audiences adored worldwide. Wearing a stunning emerald dress that shimmered under the professional camera lighting, she immediately tripped slightly on the polished steps, laughed heartily at herself, and instantly won over the enthusiastic 300-person audience before even reaching her designated seat. She was there to promote her highly anticipated new comedy film with infectious energy. "Ladies and gentlemen, the absolutely amazing Jennifer Lawrence," Jimmy announced with theatrical flair as she gracefully settled into the plush guest chair, immediately launching into a perfectly timed self-deprecating joke about her signature clumsiness. Her comedic timing was absolutely impeccable, her natural delivery seemingly effortless and authentic. For 25 intense minutes, they created pure comedy magic together. Jennifer enthusiastically shared hilarious behind-the-scenes stories from chaotic movie sets, demonstrated her admittedly terrible method, acting attempts with exaggerated facial expressions, and engaged wholeheartedly in ridiculous games that had the studio audience rolling with uncontrollable laughter and applause. But then something shifted unexpectedly during what should have been another routine comedy exchange. "You know what I genuinely love about you, Jennifer," Jimmy said warmly, carefully wiping away tears of pure laughter from his sparkling eyes. "You always seem so genuinely happy and carefree. How do you consistently stay so remarkably positive?" Jennifer's nervous laugh was noticeably too long, her practiced smile artificially too wide. "Oh, you know me, Jimmy. I just desperately try to find the humor in absolutely everything." "But seriously," Jimmy continued with visible curiosity, "you've dealt with massive, overwhelming fame, intense, relentless scrutiny. You always seem so completely together. What's your closely guarded secret?" For the first time since confidently sitting down, Jennifer was completely silent. Instead of delivering another brilliantly witty comeback, something significantly darker flickered ominously across her beautiful features. "You want to know the brutal truth?" Jennifer said, her trembling voice carrying a heavy weight that made Jimmy instantly alert. "Sometimes when I'm laughing like this, I'm actually falling apart inside." The studio fell silent. Jennifer's hands were visibly shaking. "Right now, sitting here, my heart is racing so fast I feel like I might pass out, but I'm smiling because that's what people expect." Jimmy leaned forward, focused on her distress. "Jennifer, are you okay right now?" "I don't know," she whispered. "I never really know anymore. Sometimes I laugh so hard because if I stop laughing, I'm afraid I'll start crying and never stop. I have panic attacks," Jennifer continued, tears forming. "Not just nervousness, full-blown can't-breathe panic attacks. Sometimes they happen right here in interviews while I'm supposed to be charming and funny." Jimmy stood up and walked over to her. He sat on the arm of her chair. "Hey," Jimmy said softly. "It's okay. We can stop this right now if you need to." "No," Jennifer said, sitting up straighter. "I need to say this, because there are probably people watching who feel the same way, who think they have to perform happiness when they're drowning inside." She turned to face the main camera, her makeup slightly smeared but her voice clear. "If you're watching this and you know what it feels like to smile while your chest feels like it's caving in, to laugh when all you want to do is scream, you're not alone, you're not broken, you're human." The studio erupted in applause, But it wasn't typical late-night appreciation. It was recognition of raw courage and authentic connection. I built this whole persona around being the girl who trips and laughs about it, Jennifer continued, looking at Jimmy. And I do trip, and I do think it's funny. But sometimes I trip because my hands are shaking from anxiety. Sometimes I laugh because it's the only sound I can make when I'm too overwhelmed to speak. Jimmy reached out and took her hand. Jennifer, he said, his voice carrying genuine admiration, what you just did, sharing this while you're feeling it, that's not performing, that's courage. But what if people don't want the real me? Jennifer asked, vulnerability on full display. What if they only like the fun, easy version? Then they're missing out on something extraordinary, Jimmy replied, because the Jennifer who struggles with anxiety, who has panic attacks, who sometimes cries instead of laughs, she's the one who makes the rest of us feel less alone in our struggles. Jennifer squeezed his hand and turned back to the camera. Mental health isn't a character flaw, she said. I take medication, I see a therapist, I have bad days, and I also have an amazing career. She paused, gathering strength. Those two things can exist in the same person. Success and struggle, laughter and tears. You don't have to choose just one. Jimmy wiped his eyes and addressed the studio audience. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, what Jennifer just shared isn't just brave. It's necessary, because too many people are suffering in silence, thinking they have to be on all the time. The segment about comedy had become something far more important, a reminder that even people who seem to have it all together are fighting battles we can't see. After the show, Jennifer's phone buzzed with messages thanking her for her honesty. The clip went viral within hours, not for laughs, but for its truth about mental health. It's okay to not be okay began trending as thousands shared their stories of hidden struggles. Mental health organizations reported increased calls from people ready to seek support. Jennifer had come to promote a movie. Instead, she'd given the world something far more valuable: permission to be human, to struggle, and to know that their worth isn't determined by their ability to be on all the time. And Jimmy had learned once again that the most powerful moments happen not when everything goes according to plan, but when someone shows their authentic self, panic attacks and all. Sometimes the people who make us laugh the most understand pain the deepest. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is admit you're not okay. And sometimes the most important conversation happens when someone stops performing and starts being real. That night, Jennifer called her therapist, not in crisis, but in gratitude, because she'd learned that vulnerability shared is strength multiplied, and that sometimes the best way to help yourself heal is to help others feel less alone. Snap! Because that's what happens when The Tonight Show becomes more than entertainment. It becomes where masks come off and healing begins.